Give hugs to your babies for me. Okay. So, hello. Thank you for joining me. You got a lot of sun there, Mr. Colin. We're being asked to transform. We're all going through this very challenging phase of life. And I would say those of you that are on here are in one way or another light workers. As those of you who know me, I never really liked that term because I believe we're all light workers. It's not that certain people, because you were born with gifts, you get to be a light worker. That's not the way it goes, right? We all are. And I decided that I would be one with everything that is and reading the energy from all of us so that we can kind of get over this, let's call it a hump. And I'm being somewhat vulgar about that word because what I wanted to share with you guys is that every week I want to do something similar. Perhaps I might change the timing, by the way, because I have a lot of people in Europe that are kind of upset with me because it's 9 hours ahead there and they couldn't join. I say this to you guys, and again, I get to speak to those of you who know what I'm about to say is just the way things are, right? So we think of our 7 chakras as our 7 centers of energy. But did you know that lately I've been really, oh, and by the way, I hope you guys have paper and pen so you can Google, because I always say, don't believe what I'm saying. Just go Google it and research it and find out what your experiences of what I'm about to say, how it hits you. So there's a geobiologist named Rory Duff, Roryduff. He's a geobiologist that can actually prove through all these years, he's, I think, 30 something years that he's been doing this kind of work, where he can actually measure through computers and such those grids around Mother Earth that we discuss. The grids around the earth, meaning that if you're in any particular room in your house and you take a couple of steps forward, you might feel your energy kind of goes down. And then if you are not hitting the cross sections of this grid, you might feel more energized. However, what he discovered is that way back in civilization, it turns out that the most sacred places of worship, whether it's a mosque, a cathedral, a synagogue, very specific ones, were built exactly on the crossing of this grid. Why that's fascinating to us is if we think of ourselves as each individual cell of a bigger source, right? That which I refer to as God, generator, organizer, deliverer, or destroyer, you decide. This universal energy beckons us to have this certain quality of life. And whether you do or you don't, guess what? There you are. So what I think is so beautiful and beautifying is whether something is good or bad. And again, you know, I don't like to say good or bad, but like negative or positive, it's meant to be, right? Unconditional love is the only way we get to evolve. And what they have found out, and by the way, this is another name I'm going to ask you guys to research. His name is Dr. Stephen Greer, Greer. Stephen, Steven. Dr. Stephen Greer did, well, he's written a lot of interesting books, but the latest documentary that I really wanted to share with you all is a documentary called The Fifth, what is it? Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Thank you for nodding your head. I see you've seen it. I'm glad you have. So with that being said, just look into these, let's say, studies. What I think is brilliant is that thanks to encompassing science, spirituality, technology, we're kind of bringing finally, let's say it's like the volcano had to but erupt, right? What I mean by that is that those that would control the energies that be, so we have people that are very much of what is termed the Piscean age, which is shown in generational levels, meaning our parents, or perhaps our own parents, or perhaps we were those kind of parents that we believe that you're either, you have to be punished or disciplined, right? So what I mean by that is, as we are headed into this Aquarian age, it's no longer about if we're parenting a child. In this case, we're talking about metaphorical parent and child relationship. You know, in Chinese medicine, those of you who know, there's always this mother-son relationship, but then the son transforms into a mother and becomes son in the 5-element theory that most of you know about, okay? And again, if you have a question, put it in the chat. Anyway, so with that being said, as we evolve and we look at the whole of Mother Earth and what is going on, we were made, by all intents and purposes, from a higher perspective. Don't think of it like, oh, you know, politics did this, religion, the virus did this. No, I'm talking the Godhead, right? The universal energy, whatever you wish to call it. And everything happens in divine order, right? Everything happens for a reason. We were kind of brought into the situation where we had to go into isolation. So what that did is it created a lot of fear, and obviously the isolation, as mammiferous beings that we are on this planet, made us feel very separated. And the more separated you feel, you forget that the non-duality is where all love, unconditional healing exists. And I'm going to give you a bit of a case study. I had the honor of working with a young man. Those of you who have done the hypno birthday acu sessions with me will know what I'm talking about. This morning he turned, well, okay, not like this morning, but he's 22 years old today. And about 3 years ago, I did this session on him, and and I hate to say this, but remember, everything's yin and yang, right? Those of you who know me know that I would not ever promote the harming of animals, but I'm only an instrument. I'm not here to tell people what to do or what to say. I'm only an instrument in your lives, right? This young man is a rodeo personality. And so 3 years ago, he came to me because he kept just not succeeding in his business. What he does mostly is horses. So he rides on horses for a short period of time, gets thrown off. And recently his parents consulted me because he was trampled by a couple of bulls. Not fun. So when we did his hypno birthday acu session, you know, he's over there somewhere in the Midwest and I'm over here in LA. What was fascinating is, as you know, which is what we're going to do today, by the way. This is why I'm bringing this case study up. We're going to go through hypnosis and I'll guide you part of it, and then you guys take over the other part of it, and we co-create how to uplift not only our planet, put in your name, for me, planet Gloria, right? But our planet, Mother Earth, and our planet, God, the bigger source of everything that is. So this young man went under and started to see a lot of his ancestors come through, because that's what usually happens when we do these kind of sessions, which is really, really cool. For example, people like you, my love, you know who you are, who your dad keeps coming into all our sessions. How cool is that? It's his way of protecting and being here with you now, right? And I'm really grateful to him because I'm just an instrument, okay? So anyway, in this case, he journeyed, and I was left feeling, as you know, telepathically, I can be within the space of his energetic beingness. And so I was literally laying inside him. I'm going, this is weird. This is the first time this happens to me. And he's journeying and showing me all this stuff. And yes, I'm seeing everything he's seen. But what I want to share with you is inside, I went, why don't I just put amethyst, you know, amethyst light. When we meditate, we focus on our third eye. At first you look at a candle, the more you keep looking at a candle, it becomes amethyst light, right? That's what they call the pearl in yoga circles. So we look to find the pearl in our third eye. And when I saw that he was going other places, I decided to just put amethyst light in his third eye, in his pearl, and just flush him with beautiful healing energy. And then I started, you know how I work, you guys. My hand hurt because his hand has, but I didn't know this at the time. Afterwards, he told me his hand was trampled on by one of the bulls, exactly in the places where I was hurt. And I mean, I was in a lot of pain. And then my shins were really, really weak. And then he said, oh yeah, in rodeo, you put these metal things on your legs, I guess. And so he goes, my shins are weak forever. I'm like, not really. Call me later. We could work that out. So anyway, when I journeyed with him, I thought, wow, I cannot, in my right mind, tell him, hey, don't harm horses and bulls anymore, because that's his calling. Who am I to say? Everything happens in divine order and everything happens for a reason. So why I'm sharing this case study is because if we look at that universal energy of love, unconditional love, whatever is not so positive, it's meant to be. Everything happens for a reason, right? So I want us to get a hold of all of the fake news we're listening. I am horrified when I hear, which I think is really, really funny, by the way. 3 things we're not supposed to speak of, right? Politics, religion, and whatever that other one is. I'll put and fill in the blank for you. But we're being pushed to talk politics and religion, because those are the ones I'm kind of focusing on. But politics under the guise of what is your societal connection truth? What is your mammiferous connection? How do you understand that in your pineal and your pituitary gland? That's where your Godhead really lives, right? Your universal energy. So if we know that we have our 7 chakras, right? The 7th is right on the top right here, the crown. I always found it interesting that in acupuncture, when you have to, there's a technique called balancing out your chakras, and you all the time you put in all the needles. This one went in not last but prior to last, but this one always goes in last, because as some of you know that do yoga, you have 7 chakras, but really there's an 8th which composes the 7th and the 6th one. So you go. So we're gonna move our energy centers, shoot it through the crown into the universe, but then I'm gonna ask you guys to bring it back into the top of your head and through your third eye. The 8th chakra is about 3 inches, anywhere from 1.5 inches to 4 inches, because for everyone it's different. Okay, so you bring it out through that third eye, and that's your projector. That's where you go, this is what I want to have happen. And what I'm asking you all to have happen is that we, in love and unification, bring healing to ourselves first, to the planet second, and to the universe third, so that we can walk away from this conversation of whatever we don't understand, whatever is not like us, that it should be eradicated or hated or whatever. Again, fill in the blank. Is everyone with me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you are? Thank you. Thank you. I'm waiting for 2 more thumbs. Thank you. So anyway, with that being said, I'm now going to ask you to sit as comfortably as you can, but your spine, yes? Your spine being as straight as you can.
Emma, I have a question.
Okay. Hi.
When you said don't wish it to be eradicated, can you expand on that? What did you mean?
Yeah, everything is part of, okay, you've heard me say when so I'll just say your name if I may. Is that all right? Okay.
It's right there anyway.
So in Planet Rachel, right, every molecule is pure intelligence. And so the reason why I always ask you guys to drink a lot of water before I work with you is because you're over 80% water, right? And I'm not trying to like do propaganda for that bottle, but anyway, you're a planet. Each one of your cells works for you or against you. This is, and thank you for asking that, because I was not going to do this, but here I go. There is something called the seven seals. And I know this is terrible, right? But like, I haven't really read the Bible, but what I find fascinating is the research I do. I do around every religion. And there are seven, I repeat, seven seals that are supposed to be broken for revelations to happen. And a lot of people that are more religious are freaking out because they're saying it's the end of the world, that all of the seven seals are being broken. And so what I want to offer you guys is the understanding that the seven seals really represent each of the chakras. So for example, on the first seal, it's, and I'm sorry, I'll just read it, okay? It says that a white horse with a white knight will be riding through the gates of whatever they feel revelation is. A rider holding a bow, wearing a crown, hiding out as a conqueror bent on conquest. So what that really means in the holistic sense, the universal sense, is that we have to come forth. Oh, and by the way, the rider in this case is the first chakra. So it's in our genitalia, our legs, our ability to walk forth into the future. So it's a bow. We must point our arrow to where we want to go in the future. And the conquest is the conquest over the negative monkey mind. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do is to understand. It may sound negative, right? That I'm asking you to go, okay, Rachel, every single one of your cells could be good or bad, because it's always fighting with itself, your body, literally. If you get, my daughter recently stepped on a bee. She was at the beach and got this really bad swelling on the right foot. I'm like, dude, right side masculine issues, left side feminine issues. Look at the masculine, right? So when her foot swole, I kept asking her, like, immediately she goes, wow, it's really hot. Why is it burning? Because our body goes into fight mode. Okay. So if it's fighting, your fever goes up so that you can heal. Does that make sense? So you welcome everything as it's part of you. Like the universal energies that be, if something looks like it's not so positive, it's because it's meant to be. There's always a give in everything. Does that make sense? Yeah? Did I answer your question? I want you to be at peace with everything that is, but understand that sometimes we have to fight. The fight in this case comes into the ego mind, okay? The way we conquer our negative thoughts is by calming down our mind and being one with everything that is. Oh, and I did want to start the meditation, but I have to listen. And so I have to say this because I'm going to ask you guys to do this really fun activity before you go to bed. It's really great to know that our skin is our largest organ of our body, right? We all know it's the largest organ, but I'm going to ask you guys to get into the habit of putting a towel in your bathroom, and you take a dry brush, loofah, I prefer something that's natural, not plastic or glove, and just dry brush from the left foot to the right foot, then left leg, going all the way up to the heart, face down, arms up, so your extremities in always towards your heart, on your back, always towards your heart. I'm going to ask all of you to do that before bed. If you do that, you get rid of the negative. Okay, you get rid of these not so positive cells, and so that new skin is birth. So that's what I mean. With death, there's always rebirth. So there isn't, it's all connected. It's yin and yang. Everything happens for a reason, because everything is connected, and we're just divine unity, universal God, whatever you want to call it. Allah, whatever, your belief system is, Buddha. It's just energy flow. Okay, so are we all ready? I'm going to ask everybody to sit straight as they can, and just bring in your shoulders as much as you can and then drop them. Drop them as fast as you can. And you're gonna breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. So breathe in, bring the shoulders up, out, drop them. Okay, so this is a practice I'm asking you guys to incorporate. So now I'm gonna ask you to make a circle with your shoulders, but remember, half of the circle you inhale, half of the circle you exhale. So half up, we breathe in, go half circle through our shoulders, and then release, and then bring them up again, and touch your shoulder blades, and now try to pin them back, but relaxing, so that your shoulder blades are sort of back, so that it gives you a straighter spine. The straighter your spine, the easier the chakras can flow, the energy can flow up the body, okay? So if everybody can close their eyes, and I want you to focus on your third eye. As you focus on your third eye, keep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, I'm going to ask you to feel how it feels inside your body, to understand that everything you are here to do, because it's just meant to be. It is what it is. And as we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, and you feel how it feels to be inside your body, I want you all to focus all of your energy on your first chakra. And imagine that the energy starts twirling towards your left side. So if you were a clock, you start at the top of your head, and then it starts twirling to your left, down to your feet, to your right, and then back up. Twirl the energy, and you may feel tingling down your legs because you've activated your first chakra. And breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, feeling safe and secure, feeling that these legs take you into the future. You manifest, you create whenever you want by focusing your energy. And now imagine that the energy flows up to the second chakra. And this time we're going to twirl that energy, starting at the top of our head to our right arm, down towards our legs to our left arm, and keep twirling and counterclockwise as if we were the clock. Feel it spinning around. And this is our chakra to let go and let God. To let go of any misconceived notions that we can actually have this ease when we're divine. And if we are part of that universal energy, then we are made in its perfect image, and we can bring healing to this area by letting go and letting God. As we manifest anything from our previous lives, our ancestors, are allowing these beautiful bodies of ours to carry us forth in unity, unconditional love, being vulnerable and knowing we are safe and secure. And as you're twirling that energy, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, I want you to go up into your stomach area and twirl that energy going towards your left arm, down, right, and keep twirling it around. And this is our significance chakra. Imagine that we are significant in everything we do. We don't need to pen to our ego. We don't need anybody's approval. We are significant all on our own because we are the meeting point between heaven and earth. Imagine that energy twirling and imagining your digestive system starts to feel more and more healed. And that you allow your stomach to speak to you into what it really needs. And you listen to what foods it may call you and what it really needs. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. I want you to go up to the fourth chakra. That's your heart center, your lungs. And yes, we're going to go from the top of our head to the right arm, counterclockwise, letting go of anything that no longer serves us. And knowing that as we inhale to our lungs the pure divinity of love, unconditional power from all of the universe, not just this planet, but far and beyond. And we exhale toxins that you no longer need, releasing anything that no longer serves you. And breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Keep the energy twirling, imagining it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. As it comes up into your throat chakra. And in this fifth chakra, imagine clockwise the energy starts to twirl towards your left arm first and twirling around and around. And you're able to communicate your truth. You're able to stand strong in your truth as you go forth, taking action, because after all, one leg is our God consciousness, our divinity, our faith, our destiny, but the other one, it's our action, our willingness to heed the calling and to take action in whatever we are to do at that moment, communicating our highest truth. And as the energy swirls, I want you to go to your sixth point, your forehead, your third eye, that which allows you to see the unseen, to trust your sixth sense, which is your intuition, and twirl the energy counterclockwise, knowing that right here in this brain of yours, the left side is the feminine and the right side is the masculine, the creativity and the logical thinking. The masculine and the feminine, the positive, the negative, the black and the white, but it all resides around the pineal gland. I want you to imagine that you can turn your eyesight into your pineal gland and you go inside her and you imagine that this pineal gland, it's just flowing. It is the one gland that is considered an organ because it uptakes the most blood of your entire body. So let's just bathe in it, knowing that through this pineal gland we could travel into the past, into the present, or into the future. And as we twirl this energy around, we now go to the top chakra and we zoom our energy all the way up into the heavens, making it go higher and higher past this planet, past the solar system, past all of the solar systems and all of the universes. And as we shoot up this energy of pure, loving, unconditional light, we remember that we're not the only ones. There are living, breathing beings all around this universe, all around our body, our insides, our Mother Earth, and that we're here to bless everything and everyone and be sacred to all living, breathing creatures, regardless of how big or small they are or how different they are than we are. And blessing all of this energy, I ask you to imagine that it starts to bless you back, that it starts to communicate with you, to show you what you are meant here to do. And if that's just to breathe and exist and touch the next person you see on the street, that is God's will, not your will. Imagine the energy comes back through your crown chakra into your pineal gland, your pituitary gland. And now I'm going to stay quiet for a while you project that which you wish to manifest. And I'll see you on the other side. I'm going to ask everybody to slowly start to open up their eyes, wiggle their fingertips, and wiggle your toes to kind of shake your body back, or I should say your spirit back into your body. Just move around, move your neck. And so, because there is just a few of us on here, I see some people hung in there till the end. Thank you. Some people left. That's okay. I have this meetup. Okay. Anyway, anybody want to share their experience? Okay. Go ahead. Hold on. Okay.
Sure. I was in a forest and I went across the street to a forest I know, and I'm sitting there watching the water go into a brook, and I realized it's spring, and I'll shorten it because then it's faster. Um, as I was watching the stream, it was flowing smoothly, and then I realized there was the water level went down, so there was a log, just like a branch there, cutting off the water. And I thought, oh, it's becoming a dam. And then my psychology had said, you are the dam, and you're stopping the water. And I mentally had that. It actually a hot flash, realizing that I was the dam, stopping the water from flowing through myself. And I had this hot flash, and I tried to breathe through it, and then I calmed down, and the water flowed again. So.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm going to, if I may, and you
Sure.
can correct me. What she's speaking about is one of the things we worked on is as we age but not get old. We have to age, but we don't have to get old. We will experience hot flashes, and how do we embrace them? I love to talk about on that subject because when I see patients that at the age of 11, 12, somewhere around their childhood, their parents, thinking they were doing the best they could for them, had their tonsils removed. These usually men do andropause, women menopause, right? But those of us who had our tonsils taken out at an early age, we start to experience these sort of advanced perimenopausal or periandropausal symptoms much faster. So I'm proud that when I hear somebody starting hot flashing around 60, 65, that's great. Nowadays, that's unheard of. Okay, that's just like sort of like a fantasy because most of my women in their mid, like 36 to be exact, 36 on, they start to already experience these hot flashes. And what I think is sort of cool is you look at the cycle of life, teenagers, the again ages should be 13 on, but I'm getting so many girls that at the age of 9 they're already getting their periods, right? And we would say, wow, that's really early, but it is what it is. So I love that in your imagery, that what came through is, so the hot flash is kind of like water, and the opposite of water is fire. And if you remove the dam, sorry, you can let coolness, water go through your whole body. And today, by the it's a really complicated reason to explain, but just trust me. Today is a day of heaven and fire. So I think it's fabulous that in a heaven fire day, you would have seen water. Thank God. That means that, again, you're controlling your monkey mind. You're saying, hey, you know what? I discipline you, not the other way around, because our thoughts really do create our dis-ease, right? And so if we look at our outcomes, again, that's what I was saying earlier, to Rachel, really, everything inside us has to fight with itself. And sometimes one has to die for the other to be rebirthed. So if you're having a sickness, that's why we get fevers, and again, during this pandemic coronavirus, when I hear people speak on how they should mandate vaccines, all of you know that horrifies me. I'm not here to tell people what to do, but I am here to say, hey, listen, it's kind of like the analogy, and I love this. If you have a bowl with water, dirty water, and a fish in it, let's say there's a goldfish, right? If you take the goldfish out and you vaccinate it and you put it back in the dirty water, nothing's going to happen. So we're working on how to clean out that dirty water, which is our external manifestations because of our internal way of thought. So if we clean the dirty water, that means we're cleaning our negative thoughts. We're saying, hey, today I'm going to discipline myself. As some of you know, I've gone ridiculous on my morning practice. It used to be an hour, now it's 2 hours. But it's so good because and I welcome you all. If you don't already have one, please make sure you have a morning practice, especially the one that was fidgeting during this meditation. If you keep yourself straight and you go, okay, am I itchy? Am I itchy? I'm not the itch. I can experience the itch, so I'm not going to itch my ear. I'm going to try to sit still, or it's in the background. I have all this noise. I'm going to know. You bring it back to center and you go, this is my smartest brain, not this mushy thing. My smartest brain, my heart, can connect to my pineal, my pituitary, and the way that I showed you guys today. I would highly recommend you do that on your own. Again, first chakra, clockwise, counter, second, clockwise, counter, and then both masculine and feminine, and then bringing it back to the top of your head and making it come out through your third eye, okay? And then in that fashion, if you will, it really, you start feeling, oh, wow, we're sort of like a projector. So I'm going to project what I want to see. And one thing, and I know some of you have heard me say this, I have alarms on my phone, and I welcome you guys to do the same. Throughout the day, an alarm I have on my calendar, and it will say something like, how can I best be of value to another person? Or how can I completely and drastically change my life right now? And so it makes me take action, because whether you do or you don't, it's fine, right? But at the end of the day, those of us that are taking more action, like the work we did today, I really was sending like amethyst light to all of you first, so that then each one of you can go out there and do your work in whatever form that may look like, right? Um, yeah, in whatever form that may look like, is all I can say. And I guess that brings us, I know we're over time, but I wanted to kind of just walk us through that whole thing. If you guys have any comments and you want to email me or text me, those of you who know where to reach me, haha. And yeah, again, I want to make this a weekly thing. And for all sakes and purposes, I do want to go through the 7 centers, the chakras, and I say 7 centers because it's not about the 7 centers. It's about each one of those sections. What organs lie within, right? What organs can bring us to better health? And if we bring our physical body to better health, how then can we go, okay, I am one tiny little cell of God consciousness. So I'm like being the fever or the bee bite in the bottom of the foot of God. So instead of being the fever or the chaos, how can I be the healing? How can I be the love in that instance? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. All right. So with that being said, please drink a lot of water. I some of you need minerals. Oh boy. And so for that end in mind, I'm just going to suggest that you, wherever you live, you Google extension to the, how can I say this? You know what I'm talking about, right, guys? The horticultural extension place in the place you live, and you go, what foods are growing by the season, and whatever foods grow best and are harvested right here, right now. I am asking you guys, you know what I mean, right? The agriculture extension website. Google it, okay, and go, okay, this is in my area. So right now, what fruits before 1 p.m. and vegetables after 1 p.m. can I eat? And I love to throw everything into Chinese medicine because that is my passion. But think of it this way, which I think is really, really cool. From 3 p.m. to 3 a.m., so that brings us to the long point, right? It's our acidosis time. We have to be in acid form. So that's why we have to eat more vegetables, which is richer with minerals. Okay, from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m., it's more alkaline time. That's why it's okay to have more fruits. Okay, and again, those of you who have worked with me know that that little daily food intake, even if your sheet is a few years old, I always write in your progress sheet daily food intake. And it says 1 pound of raw vegetables, 1 pound of cooked vegetables. Some of you, like for lunch, I had most fascinating butternut squash. Boy, was it buttery. Olive oil with lots of spices with a zucchini that was given to me by somebody wonderful. Let's just say it that way. And so yeah, think about like, okay, are these things in season right here, right now? If they are, and if you're growing them, better yet, right? Because even if they're not in season, they're being taken care of by your loving energy, right? Oh my God, he's beautiful. He looks like your mom. So sorry, distraction, cute baby. So anyway, so I hope I was of service. Thank you. It's called Local Extension Services. That you can get all the foods and such. I look forward to being with you next week. And I'm going to try to do it at 3 o'clock. But again, I don't know that yet, to be honest, because I want some people from Europe who said that it's not fair that they can't join. So I'll let you guys know. And I wish you a fantastic day. And I will be sending you lots of love. Thank you, guys. Take care.